Welcome back to the game show, How Hard Could It Be? In today's episode, we ask the question, how hard could it be to reverse a fart? Our contestants have already rated the difficulty of this task. Classic Bob thinks it will be a piece of cake. Elder Bob thinks otherwise. And not alive anymore, Bob is dead. For our first round, I have to deal with Unity's particle system. Unlike Unity's animation system, the particle system doesn't let you reverse the playback just by adding a negative sign in front of the speed. Implementing this takes hours of trawling through online tutorials, reading poor documentation, and forgetting to set important parameters. For the second round, I must record when the boost begins and ends. This system needs to work both for the boost and for all other arbitrary events that happen. This means many lines of code are needed, and more lines of code mean even more bugs. Sorry, Bob. Of course, all of this breaks for time clones. So for my final challenge, I have to thoroughly study the forbidden lore to come up with a magical incantation that will make everything work. And by make everything work, I mean creating an open delegate that can be used to call the show or hide flare functions on any arbitrary butt rocket I want. All of that brings us to a total of 7 out of 13 on the difficulty scale, crowning Elder Bob the winner of this competition. Congratulations, Bob. Bob's prize is a new Discord server where gamers everywhere can congregate to congratulate him on his conquering of the competition. Link in the description. Unfortunately, getting particle rewind working wasn't the only bug I had to fix. Animations desynced in multiplayer, animation speeds wouldn't return to normal after stopping rewind, and sometimes rewinding put you in an endless loop. I ended up doing a major refactor of the rewind code, which included adding support for creating a clone of yourself that replays your previous actions after you stop rewinding. The way cloning works is that if you press the clone button immediately after rewinding time, a clone of yourself will be created that replays all actions from your previous rewind before disappearing. If you rewind the same period of time repeatedly, you can create multiple clones. While testing, I made the clones endlessly loop instead of disappearing after the first playthrough, so it was easier to debug any issues I encountered. While developing this feature, I encountered a variety of fun bugs along the way. I may or may not have gotten a little distracted playing with them, but my favorite one was the one that happened when multiple clones could be spawned to replay the exact same player actions. For some reason, all the clones got faster and faster whenever a new clone was spawned until they became an untraceable blur. I also added a grappling point on Bob's body, so you can create a clone of yourself and then use that as a grappling point. This also means that in multiplayer you can grapple off other players. For obvious reasons, players can't grapple each other at the same time. The next thing I added was the ability to speed up time. Only the player using this ability will be affected, not any other players or enemies. This ability can be combined with rewind to reverse time at a more rapid rate. I also played around with some post-processing effects. When you rewind, colors get desaturated and take a warmer hue. When you speed up time, there's a lens distortion effect. What I like about the abilities I've added so far is that they can be used both in and out of combat. For example, if you mistime a jump or grapple, you can easily rewind time to try again. Speeding up time can be used to fall or move around faster, but it can also be used to unleash a barrage of rapid attacks. Sadly, Bob's power is not unlimited, and so I made him a blue mana wheel, completely unlike anything ever seen before, that gets depleted when time powers are used. When rewinding or speeding up time, the wheel drains at a steady pace. When a clone is created, a large chunk of the wheel disappears. Using the boost ability also drains the wheel. I decided not to make grappling, paragliding, or sprinting use the wheel because you're going to need to use those abilities constantly when moving around different islands. Don't forget to check out the Discord and like the video, and I'll see you in the next devlog where I add some enemies for Bob to vent his wrath on.